Welcome to the 41st commencement of Champlain Valley Union High School for the class of 2005. I would ask that the assembly remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Lyman Gaudette, followed immediately by the Star-Spangled Banner sung by Maggie Ravella.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Wyman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Lyman. Thank you, Maggie. Today, the first address on behalf of the senior class will be delivered by Christine Paquin. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. You know, we're just quickly moving through the program. We have a welcome first. And that welcome is by Marie Horbar.
Hey, Vera, remember your homemade prom dress and how it almost made it through the night? Mr. Greenwald, remember when we all failed that AP Harry Potter test? But what were those questions about Tehran doing on a Harry Potter test? Remember when all the toilets overflowed and we got to go home? Costa Rica biologists, remember soccer with the Costa Rican children? When my whitewater rafting crew almost went over the rapids not in our boat? Bird watching at 6 a.m. and sleeping beneath an active volcano? Remember when the jazz band took first place at the North American Music Festival? Yeah. How about the old Four Corners? How long did it take to navigate through that? And what were those freshman girl mobs doing blocking up the intersection? How about those pictures of Mr. Mayers riding across the Arabian desert on his camel named Lunchbox? How about Ms. Fanjmi on TV? And to set the record straight on one memory, a certain senior boy's nose did not get caught in the movable classroom walls. How about those gorgeous and ephemeral blossoms on the apple trees in front of CVU this past spring? And all of us enjoying the music of Mike Hollenbeek and Mr. Martin while soaking up the sun and connecting with one another. How about when Ashley Miller brought a mini grill into the cafeteria and sold us all hot dogs for $1? How about how our class has never won a trike race? But keep in mind that in our class, the greatest number of students ever exceeded the standards in Graduation Challenge. And how about senior parking permit night? We hung out together all night, then woke up the next morning at 4 a.m. to get online. We even made it into the Burlington Free Press. And how about the fact that we are the last graduating class to have the educational leadership of Val Gardner? I would like to thank Val, the faculty, and administration at CVU for helping shape this brilliant, energetic, irreverent, creative, funny, talented, and accomplished class of 2005. Welcome, everyone, to the graduation ceremony of the CVU class of 2005.
Thank you, Marie. We'll now move on to the first address by Christine Paquin.
To wish well is part of becoming well. Seneca, a Roman philosopher and Nero's tutor, said that. As we embark upon this journey, this quest of becoming well, if I could wish 5 things upon the class of 2005, these would be them. Number 1, breathe. Even if you're not into yoga, breathing is a really good thing. Breathe often, breathe deep. Breath forces you to take a moment and look at the world around you. Breathe in and out a few times before saying an angry word. That pause for air may make all the difference. Breathing allows us to notice, savor, and be present. It heightens perception. Most of all, remember that each breath, each inhale, and each exhale is truly a gift. Number 2, question. Albert Einstein once said, "The important thing is to never stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing." When you don't understand something you see or hear, question it. When something is unjust, question it. Question to spark debate, question to learn, question to prove a point, question rhetorically. Democracy thrives upon those who question. I'm not saying we should all go out there and become raging antagonists, but society does depend upon those who contemplate and inquire and question the knowledge they have been handed. Number 3, sleep. Now this may seem like a silly one, but I couldn't quite overlook it. With sleep, you'll attack each day with increased fervor, imagination, and vigor. You'll have more energy to do the things you want to do, and not to mention you'll be a lot less crabby to your family and friends. That besides the point, it's important to take time and take care of yourself, whatever pressures are upon you or whatever storms rage around you. We should all listen to the National Sleep Foundation, which says people aged 19 to 25 should get 9.5 hours of sleep a night at minimum, not a week, like many high school students. Number 4, smile. When you smile, you actually use 17 muscles in your face. When you frown, you use 43. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't have enough energy to smile, I'll just frown instead, it actually takes more energy to frown anyway. But other than muscle use, scientific studies show that people who smile perceive those around them in a more positive light. And in a study by researchers Davis and Palladino in the year 2000, it was found that people who smile find cartoons 25% funnier than those who are forced to frown. So smiling puts a positive spin on any day. As a friend of mine and I always say, it's all about the karma. It eventually comes back to that rule we learned in middle school: treat others as you would like to be treated. These little acts will make your corner of the world just a little bit brighter. And finally, number 5, appreciate. Appreciate beauty. Appreciate art. Appreciate the moment. Appreciate others. Appreciate not just the sun, but the rain and the clouds and the Vermont snow. And since the only true way to appreciate the present moment is to look to the past, remember. Remember how you felt walking into CVU freshman year. Remember that big game or the great concert. Remember the laughs you had with friends and teachers. Remember the traffic jams in Four Corners. Remember Dell and his fateful student list as he walked ominously into the classroom. Remember building the dugout with Mr. Francis. Remember Greece or France or Costa Rica, Pura Vida. Take those experiences and emotions and keep them tucked away somewhere, because they are what give us character and strength. And when and if we need them, we can simply find them, dust them off until they're clear again, and remember. I'll close with a note on remembrance from Billy Collins' poem, Nostalgia. As usual, I was thinking about the moments of the past, letting my memory rush over them like water, rushing over the stones at the bottom of the stream. I was even thinking a little about the future, that place where people are doing a dance we cannot imagine, a dance whose name we can only guess. Good luck, class of 2005. Breathe, question, sleep, smile, appreciate, and enjoy the dance.
Thank you, Christine. The second address on behalf of the senior class will be delivered by Taylor Sokol.
Good afternoon. I would like to begin today by admitting to you all that writing a graduation speech void of cliche phrases or topics is outrageously difficult. To help solve this problem, I'd like to get a few run-of-the-mill things out of the way now so I don't need to bring them up later. First of all, I'm very honored to have been chosen today, so thank you, all of you who chose me, for choosing me. Number 2, this is a big day for all of us, and above everything we've learned, I hope we understand how special today is. Number 3, this is the first day of the rest of our lives. Yeah. And number 4, there are many, many people that I'm going to miss. Okay. That said, and now that the cliche section of my speech has concluded, I'd like to begin my real speech by saying that I'm not wearing anything under my graduation gown. Thanks for that. Don't worry though, because that's relevant to graduation in some way, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But first of all, about 3 weeks ago, I was talking with Mr. Justin Chapman, and he was telling me how some people were beginning to stress over what to wear under their gowns. And my first thought was, well, everyone's going to be wearing a gown, so what difference does it make what's under them? And then I thought, well, if it truly doesn't matter what's under them, perhaps I should wear nothing at all. Hence the risque undergarments or lack thereof. The rest is graduation history. But on my way to the gymnasium today, I was surprised by a sudden breeze that found its way up my robe, caressing my body like a cool washcloth. And the more I thought about that, the more I began to realize that, in many ways, standing up here and receiving a diploma is a lot like a swift breeze up your gown when there aren't any clothes underneath. Allow me to explain. Surprising as it was, the breeze also felt nice. It was calming, it was relaxing, and quite a relief to be cooled down. I think I can speak for all of us standing here today when I say graduation is equally as relieving. It feels just as nice. Graduation washes over us, making us feel calm and relaxed. I suppose when it comes down to it, graduation is just a swift breeze that can cool my sweaty and exhausted mind after a long last year at CVU. However, I will admit standing before you all with just a thin layer of material between pride and shame is a little scary. I'm feeling a bit of panic creeping into my stomach, knowing that at any moment a swift breeze through the doors or a classmate could lift my gown, turning such a wonderful moment into one that will haunt me forever. This too is like graduating. You see, I have a robe right now to make me feel secure and comfortable. Similarly, CVU has become my home these last 4 years. I have friends, I have stories, and I have a reputation. Next year, however, it will all be gone. I will, in a sense, be naked going off to college. Because without the security of my friends, my teachers, and my reputation, I'm nothing more than an 18-year-old boy standing naked in a crowd. But this will not last forever. After enduring my new nudity for some time, I will eventually meet new people, learn from new teachers, and have new experiences to clothe my naked and exposed soul. I'd like to close by saying that if anyone ever wants to feel truly alive, they should try coming as close to possible as being naked in front of a large audience. It's incredibly invigorating, and it's real easy to make a lot of long shot connections between that and whatever you're talking about. And after today with my new clothing, I'll always think back about this gown and the time I stood virtually naked in front of not only my relatives, but the relatives of my entire senior class. And I'd ask you all to remember that although we may find ourselves in situations where we feel exposed, scared, or anxious, these will not last forever. There will always be a cool breeze or a pair of crisp, freshly ironed pants just over the horizon to relieve us of our nudity, whether that nudity be metaphorical or as real as mine is today. Thank you, and congratulations to all my classmates.
Thank you, Taylor. You can only imagine what it is standing behind you, would you? A gift from the class of 2005 will be presented by Emma Shaw.
Hello. Before I present the class of 2005's gift, I would like to introduce a few senior members who have some other gifts to present themselves. Emily Bickford, Jimmy Brzee, Carl New, and Neil Durda.
On behalf of the entire senior class, Jimmy and I are here today to thank 3 very special people who, in a sense, are also graduating along with us.
All right, the first person we'd like to thank today by giving them some flowers as a gift of our class is someone who's worked long and hard at CVU to do, as Val would say, take care of the place. Her dedication to the school is unbelievable, and her name is Carol Cushing, and we want to thank her. All right, the next person we'd like to say thank you to is someone who's been at our school for a long time, who we all know very well, especially when he comes from classroom to classroom with his clipboard of mayhem. So Del King, come on down, we got some flowers for you. All right, now I'm going to try to keep this short because I think our next person has probably had just about enough of the congratulations and thank yous. I think we all know who she is. She's been our principal for 18 years, and I think we should give her one last big thank you with these flowers. Val Gardner.
On behalf of all of the athletic teams at CVU, we would like to present Val with the CVU flag.
Benches, trees, trophy cases, chairs. These are all typical class gifts. When thinking about a class gift, the senior class of 2005 wanted to give a gift that would not diminish over time. Instead, we chose a gift that will only increase over time. The senior class of 2005 is donating $5,000 to a CVU trust fund that was started by a previous class. We as a school and student council confirmed that it is only fitting that this trust fund should be renamed after a very kind and loving woman who has been dedicated to CVU and its surrounding community for a long time. It is now the Val Gardner CVU Student Trust Fund. We also decided as a class that we wanted to give back to our community that has raised us into the graduates that we are now.
we decided to donate on the behalf of CVU to 2 local charities. The first is an organization called the Green Mountain Club. The Green Mountain Club's mission is to protect and preserve the Long Trail, the longest hiking trail in America, for future generations. The second organization is called Vermont Cares. Vermont Cares is a committee for AIDS, resources, education, and services. On the behalf of the senior class of 2005, I would like to thank Mark Pogat for helping us provide the CVU community with a parting gift from us. Congratulations, seniors.
As my mother would say, I'm not known for style. But boy, is there quality in this. Thank you. Give me a minute. Got to find myself on the program here. This year, we're pleased to have an invited guest speak, and it's been invited by the class of 2005. And the speaker will be introduced by Megan McCarthy.
When deciding on a class speaker, senior class council had a hard time figuring out who would be ideal for the job. We wanted someone witty, inspirational, intelligent, and charismatic. In my opinion, Tom Brennan could not be a better pick. Head coach of the UVM's men's basketball team for 19 years, Tom led his team to 3 American East Championships, beating the Syracuse Orange in the first round of the 2005 NCAA tournament, leading them to the second round for the first time in UVM history. He has never lost a Vermont native via scholarship to another Division I school. Off the court, Tom co-hosts a radio show titled Corm and the Coach that both scores higher ratings than both Howard Stern and Dom Imus in Vermont. Wow. In order to be a great coach, it takes patience, dedication, and a strong willingness to help others. Not only does Tom do this, he also approaches life with an admirable, laid-back attitude. When I asked him to speak, he said yes right away, as long as we paid him his usual $5,000 fee. Joking aside, CVU students are amazing because they are not afraid to be themselves. We have accomplished so much to be proud of. Tom Brennan has brought the same qualities out in his players. He has done many great things and serves as an excellent representation of the CVU community. He's strong, easygoing, persistent, talented, and charming, intertwined with the relaxed Vermont style that we all love. It is my great pleasure and honor to introduce you to the senior class of 2005 speaker, Tom Brennan.
Thank you, Megan. Wonderful. I am so flattered to be here today that you guys have asked me to do this. And not only did you ask me to do it, you came and did it in my house. I mean, this looks like the Northeastern game here today. It makes me feel very good. You know, when I played basketball at the University of Georgia back in the day, back in the last century, late 60s, and whenever I'm in the gym, I'm reminded of this story. I was guarding a guy by the name of Pete Maravich. They called him the Pistol. And Pistol was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan and Kobe before Kobe. And he was just a brilliant, brilliant player. And he averaged 44 points a game. And he was the player of the year in the country 2 years in a row. And it was my task as a sophomore at Georgia to guard the Pistol. And I was really, really excited about the opportunity. But needless to say, it didn't go that well. And I remember vividly at the end of the game, it was pretty close. And Pistol drove to the basket, and while he did, he used his offhand just to knock me right out of the way. And not only did he knock me out of the way, but he put the ball in the basket, and it was clearly an offensive foul. There was no doubt about it. And the referee called the basket good, and he called a foul on number 20 from Georgia, which was me. And I was really irritated, but this was in the 60s in the South, and people didn't carry on very much, and I didn't want to get a technical foul. But as he walked by me, I said to him very quietly, that was clearly an offensive foul. And I didn't think he heard me because he got about 2 or 3 steps behind me before he turned around and said, hey, they ain't here to see you. And you know what? I know you ain't here to see me either. We're here to see you, and we're here to honor what you've done this year and talk a little bit about what's going to go on in the future. As Oscar Wilde once said, liking yourself is the beginning of a great relationship. Obviously, no trouble with this class worrying about that. I've been with you for 10 minutes, and I can figure that out very easily. Another thing, the tremendous love that you showed Val. You know, that's a very, very special quality. I do these things every once in a while, and I really try to get a read on the feeling of the place and the feeling of the people. And I'm really, really getting a good one here. Where's my boy Leeper? Is he here? You got a watch on? What time is it? Can you see the clock? Can't? Oh, who has a watch? I need somebody with a watch. Who's got a watch? Taylor, you got a watch? 3:35 it is now? All right, you raise your hand at 3:50. All right, because I tend to ramble once in a while, and as I said, you ain't here to see me. But it really is. I want to start off. I don't know much. You know, I've had my picture taken more in the last 3 months than I had in the first 55 years of my life. And we just had this wonderful run, and we did most of it here at the Freezing Rain House of Pain, we like to call it, and we were undefeated here this year and only lost once here in the last 3 years. So this is a very, very special place for me. And I just want to share some stories with you guys because I think they're pertinent. I think they make some sense. And the first one is, when I was 7 years old, I had a bully in my neighborhood. His name was Larry Heff. And Larry was 10, and I was 7. But the problem was, he was a little 10, and I was a big 7. So we didn't look that much apart. You know, and I know the guys in the room here can really identify with this. The guy owned me. He really, really owned me. And I was scared to death of him. And I couldn't shake him. And he just made my life miserable. Now, how life can be miserable at 7, you know, I mean, really. But in context, it was a terrible time. And what happened was, we used to have this Italian meat market down the street from my house. It was a different time we lived in. And the street was, or the market was called Morella's Market. And they had the best Italian sausage that you could ever have. And my mother said to me one day, Tommy, I want you to go down Morella's and get some sausage for dinner. So I knew that if I went to Morella's, I'd have to go by where Larry Heff lived. So if I went to the Food Basket, which was down the other way, I wouldn't have to deal with Larry Heff. So obviously, I took the lesser of two evils, and I went to the Food Basket. And I came home, and all was good. So we sit down to dinner, and my daddy's sitting over here, and my mother's sitting over here, my brother and myself and my baby sister, and my father takes a bite of the sausage, and he says quizzically to my mother, Grace, where'd you get the sausage? And Mama says, Tommy got it at Morella's. So I'm thinking, beautiful, that's her lie, right? That ain't my lie. I'm in good shape. I am in the clear, okay? So now he takes another bite of the sausage, and he says, you know, Grace, this doesn't taste like Morella's sausage. And I'm saying, you know, Joe, why don't you just be happy you got some sausage in front of you, man? What the hell's a big problem, you know? There's people starving in this country. So now my mother turns to me and says, Tommy, where did you get the sausage? Now I'm in the jackpot. Now I got to make a play. Now I don't know about you guys, and again, this was a different time, but I could lie to my mom. And I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of it, but I could because she was with me all the time. With her all the time. And it was like, what are you doing? Nothing. You know, as a parent, when you guys become parents, you're going to want to hear that a lot. What are you doing? Nothing. Good. All right? So I said I turned to my mother, and I said, I got it at and honest to God, kids, honest to God, I didn't get that out of my mouth, and the old man went, hey! And I cracked. It was like, you know, I couldn't lie to him. It was like I had a lie right across my head. So I thought I'd throw myself at the mercy of the court, and I said, I got that Food Basket because Larry Heff always beats me up, and I didn't want to have to go buy him, and And so I thought that was enough. The old man comes right around the table, grabs me by the shoulder, and says, we're going to get this straightened out right now. Oh, beautiful. You're going to watch me get my butt kicked. Is that what's going to happen? Yeah, let's get it straightened out. You're supposed to be a learned man, for God's sakes, right? So now we go down the street looking for Larry Heff. Honest to God, I was just mortified. Now, the dilemma that I'm faced with here as we get to Larry's stoop, and darn if he isn't sitting there, and I got the guy who I care about most in the whole wide world over my shoulder, my hero, the guy that's meant more to me than anybody ever, and I got my number one nemesis right in front of me. And I'm really, really screwed, basically. And so what I decided to do was just go at him. Just go at him, and when he starts beating you up, the old man will pull him off, and then he can tell you what this is all about. It was his idea in the first place, right? So what happened was I charged at Larry Heff, and I beat him up. I beat him up. It was the greatest win that I ever had, ever, okay? We just beat Syracuse. Nothing compared to Larry Heff. Like, I mean, I could walk out of the house. I could go that way. I could go that way. Oh, hey, get away from me, man. No milk money today, bro. Those days are over. You know? It was the greatest feeling in my life. But the moral of the story is, and the point is that, and think about this, you guys, think about it, that I did something that I knew, that I absolutely knew that I couldn't do. And I did it. And you know why I did it? Because of all these people right here. All these people who are going to love you and believe in you and take care of you no matter what you do for the rest of your life. So you understand that it's very, very, very important that you never, ever, ever forget these people, and you never, ever forget what they did for you. Oftentimes, I'll tell my team once every 6 weeks or so, I want you to call somebody up who helped you get here. I want you to call them up and say, thank you for helping me get here. I'd like you guys to not forget to do that yourselves. It's very, very, very important because these are the people that count. And believe me, when you have success, and we've had a lot of success lately, it matters none if you don't have people to share it with, if you don't have people that care about you and understand what it's all about. And I was a coach at Yale before I came to Vermont, and we were playing Princeton one night on a Saturday night. And we were in the gym doing a little walkthrough, and a guy comes up to me and he says, Coach, I need to talk to you for a second. And I said, sure. I thought he was a reporter. And he pulled me over to the side, and he said, Tom, I got some bad news for you. He said, your mom and dad were on their way to Virginia to watch your sister playing a game tonight, and your father was killed in an automobile accident. Like that. And before I could emote in any way, before I cried, before I did anything, I thought, 10 more minutes, God. I need 10 more minutes with him, please, just to let him know how much I love him and let him know how much he meant to me and how proud I was to be his son. But I didn't get that 10 minutes, and you know why? Because life ain't fair. Life is not fair, and you have to know that going in, okay? I got the greatest life that anybody could imagine. I got money in the bank. I'm retired. I give speeches for a living. I mean, how hard can it be, right? And sometimes my life stinks. It just stinks, just like sometimes all of your lives just stink. And you know why? Because that's the way it is. There's no free lunches. That's how it goes. And 16 years later, like a bad dream, my mother was killed in an automobile accident. I remember standing in the same place, in the same funeral home, 16 years apart, and thinking, yo, God, you can go to the office today, huh? I mean, come on, this is unbelievable. But again, after my father's death, I never, ever forgot to tell my mother how much she meant to me, how much I loved her. So there was a little bit more satisfaction in that. And I think that, you live in the greatest society in the history of the world. And you can have it all. You can have it all. The thing is, you just can't have it all at once. And that's what you have to understand. And if you get that, if you pick that up, then you're going to be fine. You know, and I think the people that are successful in this world, I really believe this, are the people that understand that life at its very, very best is a series of ups and downs. And you enjoy as much as you can the good times. And if you're marching through hell, you keep on going. That's just the way it is. And that's what the great ones do. And it's not that hard. But the problem that we have is there's always this little voice in our head. Always. It never, never goes away. And the voice always says, hell with it, man. Ain't that important? You can do it tomorrow. Let somebody else do it. Not your problem. All right? You got to control that voice. The great ones always control the voice. The voice never goes away, but you can keep it soft. You can keep it almost silent. Sometimes it roars, but you got to work at that. And if you do that, you're going to be fine. And I would say this, one bit of advice, not that I got much. Don't ever take yourself too seriously. That's a big deal. And when you go 8-50 like I did in my first 2 years, you don't take yourself too seriously. And as I said, I'm very flattered. I had this wonderful team. I've had wonderful kids every day I've been here. I've loved every one of them. And it's all about marketing and packaging. For example, I am the winningest coach in the history of the University of Vermont by 2 games. I'm the losingest coach by 82, okay? But I don't even ever have to say that again because we beat Syracuse and we went to the tournament 3 times in a row. But I think a story I'm reminded of, I was at a banquet for 7th and 8th graders, a little in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, a little Catholic school, St. Pius X. And it was a dinner for the athletic department. And it was a mom and pop type of thing and family style, people in the kitchen. And what happens is they bring out this bowl of potatoes and they put a baked potato on my plate. And there's another guy who's about 9 years old, and he comes by with a bowl of butter. And he puts a piece of butter on my plate. I said to the kid, "Can I have another piece of butter, please?" And the kid went, "1 pat per potato." So I said, "All right, fine, okay, good, all right." I said, "Look, pal, you know what? There's 50 people here. You got 300 pieces of butter in there. Really, can I get one more piece?" Kid was doing his job, stuck like glue. 1 pat per potato. So I was about 23, 24 years old then. I was pretty smart. I thought I had all the answers. I said to the kid, "Do you know who I am?" And he went, "Nope." And I said, "Well, I'm Tom Brennan, and I'm assistant coach at Villanova, and I came all the way out here to speak, and the least I think you can do is give me another piece of butter." And the guy looked at me, and he didn't bat an eye, and he said, "Do you know who I am?" And I said, "No, I don't know who you are." He said, "I'm the guy with the butter." So he was a lot more important than I was at that time. I think, too, that, again, don't forget, again, my one really big reminder would, don't forget where you came from. And I'd like to tell you one more story, and then I'll let you guys get to the business at hand. When I got here, my son was about 8 years old, and we were in the midst of a 17-game losing streak. And we went over to Buffalo, New York to play Canisius, and we went to Niagara first and played Niagara, and we lost up there. And then we came down to Canisius, and we were playing there. And we were practicing in the gym, getting ready for the game. And my son, as I said, was 8 years old. And he could care less how many games we won or lost. He just, he was riding on escalators and eating in restaurants. It was the greatest week in the world for him. So what happens is, he says, "Hey, Dad, watch. And he runs, and one of my guys grabs him, and he picks him up, and he dunks the ball, and he lands like, yeah, like that. And it just pissed me off, man. I'll tell you, I was just so upset. And I said to him, "You know what, sport? That's make-believe, man. That's make-believe. When you can do that, okay, when you can do that, then you come and show me." And he said, "Hey, Dad, you were the one that told me if you don't have dreams, they can't come true." Honest to God, it was like getting hit in the face with a pie. I couldn't believe it. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this is just great, TB. This is just wonderful. You've lost 17 games in a row. You're getting life lessons from an 8-year-old. And I'll bet the University of Vermont is just thrilled that you're their guy. I bet they just can't wait till you come home so they can celebrate you. But 8 years later, when he was a senior in high school, he was fortunate enough to make the senior all-star game. And they had a dunk contest in the all-star game. And guess what? He won the dunk contest. You know why? Because if you don't have dreams, they can't come true. In closing, let me just say this. Whether you spend the next 4 years of your life going to college, playing in a rock band, working on the farm, or following the sun, I'm hopeful that you'll learn to love and to hope and to trust in God and in life itself. And I will send you off today like I sent my team every time they came out that door. Hey, I know you're ready. I'm rooting like hell for you. Let's go see what they got. And I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going anyway. You are the last Crusaders. Congratulations.
At this time, I'd like to recognize the entire faculty and staff of Champlain Valley Union, if they could rise. I'd also like to give a special recognition to Dell King, Carol Cushing, and Ann Dutton. It doesn't compare to what the class did, but thank you. I'd also like to introduce the people who are on stage. We'll go through to my right, Dr. Brian O'Regan, Superintendent of Schools. Gianetta Burton, School Board Member. Jeff Parker, School Board Member. Jean Jensen, Chair of the School Board. In the back row to my left, Mike Bissonette, Chairman, School Board Member, past Chairman. Dottie Waller, School Board Member. Meg Hart-Smith, School Board Member. Sarita Austin, School Board Member. Helen Niedermeyer, Director of Student Services. I'm going to skip over somebody. Mark Pogak, Class Advisor of 2005. And it is my great pleasure to introduce the future principal of Champlain Valley Union High School, Sean McMahon. Now, what you've been waiting for. What I'd like to do is I'd like Jean Jensen to join me. Ms. Jensen, as chair of the board of directors, these students have satisfactorily completed the prescribed course of study according to the requirements of the state of Vermont and the school board directors of Champlain Valley Union High School. Therefore, I recommend that they be recognized as graduates of this high school, the class of 2005.
Thank you. By virtue of the power invested in this high school and as chair of its board of directors, I accept your recommendation.
Thank you. I would ask that the graduates please come forward to receive your diplomas. Ready? Justin Adams. No, right here. Right here. James Allen. Joshua Anderson. Adam Andrews. Nicholas Archdeacon. Gregory Armel. Jake Baggs. Ashley Baker. Eliza Barnard. Jessica Berry. Michael Berry. Tucker Bashaw. Kara Bathalon. Caitlin Bean. Taylor Bedard. Justin Belisle. Emily Bickford. Jason Bilodeau. Dana Bingham. Abby Blades. Randy Blanchard. Kaylee Bond. Pamela Booth. Julie Bora. Joshua Bosley. Cullen Bostock. Christina Booten. Emily Bowser. Meredith Bradley. Kate Brassard. Michael Bro. James Brise. Lauren Bragna. Dylan Brooker. Courtney Brooks. David Brown. Martha Bruce. Molly Bull. Fletcher Bundy. Nathan Burgess. Hannah Bergen Young. Olivia Kokovo. Jeffrey Campbell. Heather Carpenter. Darren Kassler. Rooney Castle. Carol Chan. Yu-Young Choi. Amanda Cianchetta. Ryan Claremont. Alexander Clark. Ryan Clavel. Tyler Clavel. Sophie Conway. Nicole Corin. Ashley Kuchar. Brittany Crowley. Catherine Crown. Robert Curler. Christopher Danielson. Katie DiTilio. Matt Day. Allison DeSimone. Nicole DeVoid. Bethany Delman. Courtney Dillman. Ty Dinnan. Kathleen Doolin. Evan Dummett. Jennifer Dumont. Matt Dunn. James Dunshee. Neil Durda. Philip Deepfest Muha. Kate Echo. Dawn Elliott. Nora Eltabach. Sam Faith. Jessica Fillion. Sean Fortier. Bethany Fox. Elizabeth Fox. Caitlin Francis. Peter Franklin. Anna Franzini. Chris Frazier. Nicholas Frick. Aaron Freimeyer. L. Aaron Fuller. Andrea Garitano. Lyman Gaudette. Catherine Gaylord. Luke Gelber. Andrew Germain. Elijah Gerson. Anna Javolt. Carla Giardino. Casey Giebing. Christina Gilbert. Jessica Gingras. Taylor Galler. Grant Goodrich. Jessica Goodwin. Alex Gover. Trevor Green. Tyler Green. Benjamin Greenfield. Max Greger. Eric Gregoric. Leah Griffiths. Charles Gundlach. Tyler Gerwitz. Jesse Hale. Crystal Hall. Kristen Hammond. J.C. Handy. Emily Harcourt. Lorraine Harris. J.C. Hassenfuss. Corey Hathaway. Michael Hollenbeek. Andrew Hauserman. Chelsea Hendrickson, Christine Hofel, Amy Hopkins, Marie Horbar, Alex Holsey, Natalia Ioannou, Daniel Isham, Brendan Jackson, Evan Jackson, Travis Jakes, Annika James, Colby Jessett, Emily Johnson, Ian Johnson, Marcia Johnson, Amadeus Kelber, Christine Kaiser, Catherine Kearns, Jamie Ketchum, Shannon Rose Kilpatrick, Anna King, Tiana King, Jennifer Kleps, Peter Kling, Willa Corner, Kate Kogi, Nicole Cook, Jared Kuzia, Christina Lacrosse, Peter Lafreniere, Andrew Lane, Alexandra Lash, David Levine, Joshua Levine, Catherine Wallace, J. Isaac Lazarowski, David LeBeau, Stephanie LeBeau, Avery Leahy, Paige Leenstra, Yashu Leah, Ryan Liebert, Dalton Lyman Muzzy, Cayenne McKillop, Matthew McKinnon, Elizabeth McNair, Kelly McNee, Joe Markham, Megan McCarthy, Raymond McCoy, Ryan McGinnis, Trevor McGovern, Erica McGreevy, Emily Melander, Amanda Menard, Michelle Miola, Kristen Mercure, Michael Michaud, Taylor Michael, Ashley Miller, Drew Millette, Devin Miner, Sarah Minkler, Gina Mobbs, Sky Montgomery, Stephen Moore, Lindsay Morrill, Chandler Moser, Charlotte Munson, Kevin Murphy, Prescott Nadeau, Will Nadeau, Ashley Nallette, Lauren Navarro, Alexander Naylor, Steve Neal, Carl New, Abby Newton, Abigail Newton, Tammy Wien, Ryan Nielsen, Lawson Noyes, Brittany Nunick, Brody O'Brien, Amanda Pasilli, Christine Paquin, Elizabeth Parent, Lauren Parker, Joshua Perro, Alexa Patrick, Serena Paulman, Jordan Pavlik, Eva Pellegrino Young, Serena, Jordan, Eva, Jared Perkins, Danielle Petter, Kelly Pichet, Gregory Pierce, Patricia Pearson, Jennifer Pike, Ashley Pilla, Julia Precor, Justin Prescott, Adam Provo, Kyle Ramey, Matthew Reese, Stephen Riley, Roxanne Renato, Margaret Ravella, Jared Reynolds, Brittany Richardson, Todd Reardon, Joseph Robar, Abigail Robitaille, Brian Kane Rooney, Hallie Ross, Nicole Russell, Taylor Sacco, Kelly Saunders, Ronald Savage, Matthew Schultz, Eric Seaton, Garrett Senhen, Brent Seraphin, Emma Shaw, Connor Shea, Tyler Shea, Ashley Shepherdson, Todd Shepherdson, Mark Sienko, Kristen Simmons, Vera Simon Nobes, Robert Simpson, Kelly Sisko, Alexander Slauson, Amanda Smith, Hannah Sortino, Rachel Sparks, Catherine Spidell, Jamie Spencer, Matt Spinney, Dana Steinhoff, Ryan Stem, Caitlin Stetler, Tyler Stetson, Ross Steyerwalt, Chelsea Stone, Christina Stowe, Arthur Stoll, Caitlin Stroop, Audrey Suarez, Brendan Sweeney, Neil Tandon, Robert Terraciano, Nicholas Tatro, Christine Thayer, Tanya Terrio, Robert Therian, Dylan Tebow, August Thompson, Marianne Thompson, Timothy Tucker, Quinlan Turner, Colby Tyler, Joshua Van Vliet, Nina Van Zant, Alex Vane, Tiffany Wiesena, Corinne Vintner, Sarah Visvari, Tyler Wayner, Crystal Walsh, Ellen Waxler, Lauren Wally, Derek Whitby, Brian Whitney, Carolyn Wizarek, Dana Wilkins, Heather Winters, Dana Wilkins, Heather Winters, Christina Wolfson. I'd like to just call Lawson Noyes to come and get his diploma. I've got it, Lawson. At this time, the concluding farewell, and I'm not going to read the name yet, I would ask that everyone remain in their seats. There are over 300 graduates that need to get out of the building before we can leave. So I'd ask that you remain in your seats until the class has left. The parting farewell will be given by Ashley Miller.
Yeah. I, unlike Taylor Sacco, am not nude under this. My mom threatened to take away paying my funding for college if I didn't dress, so I've got clothes on. But no, in all serious respect, growing up, I pretty much thought I was the man because I thought I figured out the meaning of life. You know, I thought the meaning of life was to have fun with everything you do. But what is fun? Fun's the anticipation in all these eyes as I look out of all you. You guys are waiting for me to finish, so yeah, I'll try to keep this quick. What else is fun? Fun's eating food out of the garbage disposal so as to not waste a single bite. I did that last night at Taylor Geller's house. Fun is being cocky when the world does not permit you to be. It's making the attempt, knowing that if you fall off your horse, break a few bones, legs, arms, etc., you'll be able to get back on. It's about soiling your diaper 4 times this summer for a mere $10. Fun is wanting to game in your basement all day so that your parents don't know about it. Yeah, Jimmy, proceed. Fun is not watching the OC because you know you've got better things to do with your life. Yeah, I saw one episode. I didn't think it was that good. Fun is Batman Begins. It's a real sweet movie if you guys ever want to go out and see it. Fun's also going to bed each night with a smile on your face. No, you're pretty psyched with the world. Yeah, fun is doing the stupid stuff that everyone else is just too smart to do. I've been a victim of that many times before. Fun is commending your mother-in-law's cooking. I don't have a mother-in-law yet, but I'm sure I'll have to someday. Fun is going for the island green in 2 instead of laying up. No smart choices in life. We avoid this. Fun is being able to laugh at yourself from time to time. Fun is CVU dominating all other schools in every category. Yeah, pretty much. Fun is UVM shocking the world this year when they beat Syracuse. Thanks, Coach. And most importantly, it's making the impossible possible. So go out into this vast world that's ahead of us and live by a few words from the ice cream gods of this world, Ben and Jerry themselves. If it's not fun, why do it? And we all know celebrating's fun, so let's start this show.